So I made a really good video for y'all, and then there was this gnarly wind noise from the AC fan, so I'm going to do it again. I'll do a better version faster. So January 6th, yesterday, that's the anniversary of January 6th last year, which is our current regime's fake rape story. And our media are her friend that helped her fake the story. Now, why do I use that analogy? Because that'll tell you how disgusting it is to fake that. Because the real crime, when that crime is actually committed, is disgusting. And whoever commits that crime needs to have a bullet in their head when it's real. But when someone fakes a story like that, everybody else that thinks it's real still wants to kill the person who got accused. And that is the nutshell version of what January 6th is. Yesterday, former Vice President Joe Biden gave a little talk, where he and the Vice President, supposedly, you can pick which way I use supposedly, the Vice President said she compared dates in history. Pearl Harbor, 9/11, January 6th. Pearl Harbor, there's still men entombed in the USS Arizona that's capsized underneath a memorial to my understanding, their bodies are all still in there. And they either committed suicide or drowned. 9/11, people jumped to their deaths to avoid being burned to death. They'd rather just hit the ground. Don't blame them. I know a guy named William Rodriguez. You should look him up. He was one of the only people that had a key to the stairs to go up and down. And he went up and down that until his fucking knees gave out. He went on a tour all over the world explaining what he saw happen. And he saw shit like a guy got burned up by a bomb in one of the basements before the planes hit. But that's not what this video is about. 9/11, a horrible day. Thousands of people died, and we launched a 20-year war that Biden just surrendered to the enemy. Not that I even believe they're behind it, but in the narrative. Yet this is comparable to that. So why I say it's the media and the government's fake rape story? Well, because you already know all of what a fake rape story would cause for the accuser if they got found out, and for the accused if it was believed. You already know the whole shitstorm, so amplify that a million times. That's what January 6th is. That's why I was so concerned when I saw the Aboriginals burning the old Parliament building, and I know it's not the current Parliament building, and I know all that, but still, there are people that are still a year later in solitary confinement who aren't being charged with sedition or insurrection. There's dumbasses that just wandered in because the cops were standing there with the door open, and they took selfies with the cops. And if you hate Donald Trump's guts, you think this is funny and this is cool and whatever, neato. Well, you're a dumbass, because if you don't see that how fucked up it is that the government can just say, look, we can just say whatever, and you can just be in prison, even if you're not charged with it. Kind of like in Australia, where the government's like, we can hack into your phone and send messages as you. So imagine what these bastards can do with this power. The Novak guy, right? Novak? I don't know anything about tennis. But I do know that the reason that the man ended up in Australia was to go play tennis. And I'm pretty sure the reason that he came is because they said, yeah, you can go ahead and come without your vaccine and we'll let you play. And then once the door shut behind him, hey, guess what, asshole? You're going to the camp. And I know he's not in a camp. He's in a hotel. Okay. And that's not even really the part that really just riled me up. I'm so desensitized to seeing, people drug off to camps in Australia that, if they hauled him off in a van in front of news cameras and put a bag over his head, it would not surprise me But when I saw Aussie Kozak's video this morning of the Tennis Australia guy telling those two people, you can't even sit in the stands with a sign in support of the guy because it's inappropriate. And here's the deal, like, as far as I know, the tennis organization's not part of the government. Like, they don't have to enforce that, do they? They just felt that it was the right move managerially, politically speaking, to go and shut down, to go confiscate a fucking sign from someone. It's not like he's got a sign that says, fuck you, Scott Morrison. He's got a sign of the name of a guy who was scheduled to fucking be there. And it's inappropriate to support him because it's inappropriate to question the narrative. So fuck you, Tennis Australia. See, we got that down at 6 minutes. I was at fucking 13 minutes ranting about shit last time, so it's good that video was not good. Hopefully this one's good. Fuck it. Even if there is wind noise, I'm putting this video up. So yeah, Tennis Australia, fuck you, dude. This is from a just, plain old regular average American piece of shit like me. It's embarrassing for me to watch the Australian government and the Australian corporations, to some extent even worse than here, just immediately bend over and fillet the government, like, without question. Like over here, what's so disgusting, the shit that Joe Biden had a press conference where he's like, I want all companies to do such and such. There was no law, there was no rules. The companies are all just like, well, fuck, let's just trample each other to death running to do this faster than everybody else. When there wasn't even any fucking laws in place. And that's the same shit I see over there. Like, is Tennis Australia gonna get in trouble because, like, if they hadn't drawn attention to it, so as people started recording it happening, I would know about it. That's called the Streisand effect, by the way, government and corporations. You'd be better off, like, if all the governments of the world and corporations had done literally nothing at the beginning of the supposed pandemic, we would be better off. Like, literally nothing. Think about it. Because if people had gotten the virus and gone to a hospital, and it's a novel virus and we don't know what it's going to do, if the government had done nothing, and hospitals were like, well, what do they got going on? Well, they got inflammation in the lungs, they've got fever, we think it's viral, we're not sure, but the lungs are definitely fucked up. Okay, well, let's treat it like we treat fucked up lungs. And they would have given people steroids. But they didn't, because the governments of the world, and the world government that's coming, that pretends like it's not already squatted on top of us, having its way with us, the world government said, nope, the way you treat that is you just kind of let them wait it out, and then we stuff a water hose down their throat and pump air into it until they die. Oh, and by the way, we're going to give them drugs that cause you to stop breathing and put you into a coma so they don't wake up. That was the government. And that reminded me of one thing, and then we'll end on that. There was this nurse, her name was Erin, I can't remember her last name. She was a big deal in the United States because she went to that Elmhurst hospital in New York because she's like, fuck, I need to go help these people, because that's what people used to do back when they were allowed to freely work and travel. And she found out that they were incorrectly treating people and killing them, and they knew about it, and they couldn't do anything about it because that's what the government protocol was. And that's just really sad, because like they've literally murdered fucking hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, and they're gonna murder more of us because everything they push is death. Don't have kids. If you do, kill them. If your kids do survive and you don't kill them, make sure they cut their dick off. And it sounds crude to say it that way, but that's literally all their key positions in a nutshell.